Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of Ragnarok M Classic. And in this video, I'd like to share with you my guides regarding the game that I have been taking my time studying the features. In my first two videos, labeled as Part 1 and Part 2 of this series, I covered some of the basics. This video is Part 3. By the end of it, I hope you'll have a deeper understanding of the game and ready to start strong. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with how to catch pets at 100% success rate. If you first start playing this game, you would have thought catching pets only has a certain chance. But veteran Eternal Love players know this trick already. So for beginners, here's how to do it. For each monster pet, there's a certain amount of pet food that you can present to the monster to guarantee the success of catching one's monster. For example is this pouring. For pouring monster, you need to have 3 pieces of green apples. First, start with presenting the correct pet food, and then another interface will pop up here on the right side, which has an option for catch or present. Now you still have the remaining 2 green apples. You just need to present it again and again until you see these red hearts turned into a yellow hearts, which indicates 100% success rate. Now, each of these monsters that can be a pet have different type of pet food, as well as different numbers of pet food to be presented for the guaranteed catch. Just like the Baphomet Jr., which you will need a 7 pieces of Book of Devil to guarantee a 100% chance of catching that pet. And that kind of pet food is somewhat expensive, so you better just go all in with 7 pieces rather than gambling with a certain chance. These are some list of monsters and their required amount of pet food for guaranteed catch. After catching pets, as I mentioned in part 1, I realized I missed this feature, so I'm including it here now. Here in the Marvelous Pet Bag, you can access the Pet Adventure, Handbook, and Labor. But we will discuss the Pet Adventure. I've said in the part 1 that I do not recommend doing this since it consumes gameplay time and it's not worth it. Yes, it's not worth the cost. But I missed this part where there is a free adventure, and it only needs a certain number of pets to start. It is mostly located above and labeled in a purple color, and I think you can just do this once per area. After finishing that area, it will not be free and you can now move on to another one. Another feature I missed, thanks to my viewers for pointing it out, is the Gathered Smile Assistance NPC in Frontera. Just like what I've said on my previous video for the Devil Wing, you don't need to go to Glastheim. In the center of Frontera on the right side, you can see this Smile Assistance that has a banner. You might miss the other Smile Assistance because they don't have banners on it, just like what I did. Each of these Smile Assistance NPC has a town representative, and they sell the same headgears as well. SP region is very important for classes that uses a lot of SP for skills, just like wizards and priests. Warm and hot meal is one of the sources of SP region. You can claim it on the food shop every day and buy it at half price after. You can stack as many warm or hot meals as you can, and you can partner it with blue potions here in the item shop. But if you wonder where the settings for auto use, it's just here in the potion itself. Click the potion, then go to the auto use, and you can see this interface. You can manually put the potions or just do the fast add. And then here you need to check these boxes and set a percentage on when to use the potions. In my case, I set it to 40%. One of the early game features that we might have missed is the Fantasy Ember. Fantasy Ember are these dusts that you can use to repair, add socket, or even refine your adventure gears. To get this Fantasy Ember, all you need to do is just go to this NPC labeled as Pyrolyzing Stoves, an adventurer treasury near the forging area. Click the equipment salvage and select some gears that you don't need and decompose it. Here in the treasury, you can also get Fantasy Embers by infusing loot materials. You may need to have a lot of it to get one Fantasy Ember, so be wise in infusing your materials. Now to use this, just go ahead to refining. Select any of your adventure gear, click save, and then add fantasy embers. I do not recommend this on refining though, because decomposing one equipment costs 10k zenny. And here in refining, you can just select adventure gears directly without cost. So just use fantasy ember on repairing, as well as card inlaying. Next, let's check the mission board. Mission boards are the same as commissions for every RPG. You can accept up to 3 quests per day, and they have different kinds of rewards. So here you need to choose the best reward for your progression. What I mostly get is the mission that has a meteoric chain and prayer cards on it. You can also get the one that has a mercenary ticket for you to hire mercenary cats without using your zenny. And also you can skip this process by clicking the instant. And it only costs small amount of rice balls, which you can get through cooking center in the pet labor, first entry of pet adventure, and the easiest one is through your combat pet. They are giving some rice balls when you see this gift box hovering above your pet. Just click it to get the rewards. Next is the enchantment. You can use Mora coins and zenny to have random stats. You can check the attribute that a gear can get. And you can also use the advanced cost using Mora gold coin for a random but higher attribute stats. And lastly is this advanced enchantment voucher where you can purchase here, and it is really expensive. But if you are in the end game and want to enchant better stats, then this might be your goal. This 20 enchantment crystallization cost is still random but can guarantee a special attribute like crit damage increase, which is a rare stat, but if you don't like RNG, then you better invest for the 80 enchantment crystallization cost, because this one guarantees the stats that you need, but still with a random number percentage. Still, it's good, but that one piece of enchantment voucher costs 480M, which is nuts and not worth it for me. Maybe that's for the end game if you have nothing to buy with your zennies, but I doubt we would. Some players miss this feature called pouring test. It is located here behind the safety master near the event items. This dungeon is quite easy. You just need to kill all the monsters in every wave, and per wave there's a corresponding rewards like Illunium, colorful shell, zennies, and the most important is Stone of All Things. Yes, you can get that here, so you should not ignore this feature and strive for higher floors. I mentioned the Stone of All Things, and some players are still confused on where to use this material. Stone of All Things serves as an all-in-one replacement for the materials needed, especially when crafting. Example is this Robe of Caste. It needs Orcish voucher, which I don't have. Now if I click this use the Stone of All Things, it now indicates 1/10 Orcish voucher, which spends 3 of the Stone of All Things. It will really depend on the rarity of the materials or how much stones it needed to consume. This one is optional if you have spare of zennies, but I do recommend purchasing the discounted Nolan Card for every week. It is just 500k zenny for 50 Nolan Card, which you can have a chance to get MVP cards here in the King Pouring. It requires 1,500 Nolan cards and a 1 million zenny to craft random boss cards, so try your luck here. And I'll end this part 3 series with the beautiful backwear, or what we call Dawn Wings. These wings are the most anticipated backwear of all players back in the Eternal Hub, and can be achieved by everyone. Yes, you've heard it right. It is free for everyone, but you need a certain level for you to quest this backwear. First, you need to be at level 100, and then go to Yunu for the main quest, which is located at the left side of the map, and accept the quest here on Karl the President. It's a long quest, but it's worth it. If you find this video helpful, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel and be updated with my latest guides. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe and have an awesome day. Lights out.